Hello there, I'm Carrie Freeman, and welcome to My Left Ear, and this is Petey Freeman. Come on, Pete. There he is. I had to put treats on the desk today to get him to come up here because he hasn't been doing it the last few days, and I finally figured out I'm giving him a few more treats. I think it's the daylight savings time change, because as many of you know, he just gets up here automatically. I know, I got two more for you, kiddo. He loves these treats. So anyway, I got him up here. I manipulated him with some treats, just like a little dog. But he's just like a little dog. There you go. Ah, I love that. Okay, I'll put it down for you. All right, now to business. This is a pro-democracy channel. As many of you know, I've got a lot of new subscribers, really excited about that, and thank you. And I believe I have one new subscriber that's highly responsible for putting out the word on My Left Ear, and I'm eternally grateful. Pink, not the superstar Pink, I don't think, but Pink, if you get my message, email me. I want to ask you a question, and thank you. So this is video 292, and I often call Pete. Well, see, now he's here, so he's settling down. Let's see if because he's so beautiful. Yeah, he's a beautiful guy. So I'm going to get right to it. Just amusing, but I had done a very, very mini rant in my section called Opinions Unlimited, and I mentioned the product Lumi, that I was just kind of offended by the over-the-top advertising, and now they make something like this for men and all. Anyway, it wasn't a long one. I just thought it was kind of funny. Well, I found out a lot of you agreed with me, but I did hear from a dissenter who was so angry with me, and I figured she probably works for Lumi. I don't know, though. It was just a thought. But anyway, she had her little rant about how wrong I was, and then she said, "Get over yourself." So I thought I'd share that. Fortunately, I don't get too many, lousy messages, but sometimes I do. All right, now I'm going to move on here. I've been wondering about this SNAP issue that's happening, and it's very confusing. And I had read that the USDA had started issuing checks, and then, of course, news says that Trump's regime has appealed it, and then I started thinking, and I didn't do runes on it, I'm just sharing this with you. I started thinking, is he going to find a way to, yeah, Pete, thank you for listening to me. Is Trump going to find a way to abscond with that money, the SNAP money? I wouldn't put anything past him, anything. So, this is getting to a lot of people. I am not special, but this idea of people not having food is just utterly painful. Children, it's just the worst. So, this is the height of psychopathy. Trump is a psychopath, and he has no issues or feelings about hunger. That's what some people voted for. That's what Elon Musk pushed into office with all his money. So I said, will the U.S. receive SNAP by Thanksgiving? Now that's like including everybody that's deserves to receive SNAP. So it's a big order. It's late in the game. News was that they started issuing yesterday, but like I said, it's not clear what's going on. But I pulled the rune of growth in the reverse position. So I didn't pull any more runes because it kind of goes along. We can only hope and pray that I'm wrong. There's times when you really want to be wrong about an intuition, and this is one of them. I just love to see all these people get their SNAP and their back ordered SNAP before Thanksgiving. honest to God. But Growth Reversed says aspects of character interfere with growth of new life. And that is 37's, one of my subscribers who writes me we talk from time to time, John, I won't say your last name, John C., said, oh, can we just call him 37? And I thought, that's a good idea, because I'm always grappling for what the hell do I call him? 37 is good. So this is about 37, because he has character flaws, and he's demented, and all of that interferes with the growth of new life. So it really isn't necessary for me to pull all these runes. And it's about us being dismayed at their failure to take right action. And this is like, right out of the runes book. So now I'm going to move on to UCP is giving me his belly. Oh my God, you're so cute. He loves, and he had his grooming this morning, so he's so mellow after his grooming. He has his wet food, and then I brush him, and I wipe him down with water. All right, so another incredibly serious topic is the Epstein files. I mean, they're much more than files. It's just the Epstein materials, But just a few days ago, rumors emerged that these files are worse than rumored. Worse. And, I checked with the people who are doing the work that I'm doing, but are also just flat out journalists, not predicting anything. And this rumor is out there, like, OMG, these are so bad. So we know his ratings are very low, 37. 37's ratings are 37. Isn't that weird? I just got that just this second. 37. His ratings are in 37 right now. I expect them to go down some more, down to 34. So evidently, Pambitious Bondi has shut down further investigation. But none of this is announced, right? It's just, let's just shut it down. Well, it's not going to work, but they're hoping, well, if we just don't, But as many broadcasters have pointed out, and even this morning, there isn't this one source in this one vault, okay? So the emergence of the Epstein materials and damning photographs, evidently of the president, are out there. I have no doubts they're going to emerge, okay? I just want you to know that. I don't worry about it. It's going to happen. They exist. The when is the tricky part. All right. So just to point this out, when Pambitious Bondi was being grilled in Congress, and the brilliant, maybe it wasn't Congress, maybe it was the Senate, White House, said, now, have you seen these photos? And Pam Bishus would not say yes or no, which means she saw them, but she wouldn't answer them. She wouldn't answer them. So, this continues, and people are going to pay. So the whole list of people that are going to be indicted, and I don't know why any of them aren't thinking about that. But I guess if one had common sense, which I think is highly underrated, I think common sense is kind of brilliant, but none of them have it. So they're not really thinking ahead. They're not thinking about who they have allegiance to. So, their day is coming. But I did ask the runes, are the Epstein files even worse? I wanted to see what the runes. There is a rumor that there is one photo of 37 surrounded by naked teenage girls. And, you know, there could even be that Ivanka was present. And I'm just saying there could even be. I don't know. But also, since it's getting now into the banks, into money laundering, and that's big investigation is starting now. Why now? You know, but that's like big time. So all those players that are billionaires on Wall Street are going to be named, and people are scared about that. Okay, my screen blew up, so I got to get it back. Come on, come on, come on, get back. So I asked the question, are the Epstein files even worse, like people are saying right now? And it's so interesting. I got the rune of gateway, which is like an opening, a gateway, reversed position. And it says there is a quickening of development here, which means a quickening of information is starting to flow. Nevertheless, you have reason to halt and reconsider the old. And then along this path, there may be halts, but those halts might be good for investigation. Hasty decisions may cause regrets, and impulses should be tempered. Do not go where you have not yet begun. And this is new territory, right? Then, out of the blue, I pulled the rune of wholeness, which is very good. It's a very good rune. But as I've been doing this for such a long time, that was a message for you and I. It really was. It really is. The wholeness is about basking in the glory of the sun's rays, the cleansing of the sun's rays. That which will happen to us who are not Republicans. We're not interested in protecting a pedophile and a money launderer and a child rapist. That would be Jeffrey Epstein or Trump. There's things we don't know yet. We suspect, but we don't know yet. So the wholeness is a reassurance that we're going to get to feel whole around this smutty, dirty, filthy story. It's finally going to, get exposed, expunged, just exposed. So it does say through wholeness, that's what I've been trying to say, through wholeness, a new, stronger, more solid and higher foundation is created. So we have that to look forward to. And this wholeness will make life force available to us. And there is a very strong feeling, and I have that feeling, that the Democrats are moving into a time of reclaiming some power. All right, really feel that. Just got to be patient. So this wholeness is about achievement. They're not going to have achievement. This is about us, the Democrats, and it strongly aligns with the sun's energy. All right, so now we come to constraint in the reversed position, and it's part of a cycle of initiation. Constraint equals necessary pain. So it's the great teacher disguised as pain. Now, the people who are supposed to be taught something or learn something are not inclined to learn anything, okay? Whatever Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing, it sounds good. And she's delivering it well, because I think she's actually a pretty good actress. She wants to remain in office. She has higher aspirations. And evidently she's heard that her constituents are very unhappy, so she's adjusting. Kind of smart of her. But I think we better just be careful. I don't want to go off on her, but let's just be careful about investing too much in her. I like what she's saying, but I don't really trust her either. So constraint, necessary pain, that includes not just the deceased Epstein, but everybody who is aligned with him and protected him. And there is, I highlighted this, it says that only moments of greatest darkness do we become aware of the light within and come to realize our true creative power. But it also says when something within you is disowned, like they're all trying to disown their previous involvement with this creep, this pervert, Jeffrey Epstein. So a cleansing is required. Oh no, I thought I lost my whole outline there for a minute. Mac is, so it does say this constraint reversed, this disowned side of our nature could strengthen character. But you have to look at the subjects. They're not inclined to grow. They're not inclined for insight. You know, that's just not how they're built. But it says at issue, manage your anger and restrain your impulses right now. So there's so much more coming about Jeffrey Epstein, and it's just foolhardy that Pam Bishop shut down the investigation. Of course, that was done without any announcements, all right? Now, I'm sure you've all heard and read about the murderous attacks on boats in the Caribbean that Trump and his drunken cabinet member, Pete, have murdered people on these boats, claiming without any real knowledge that they're a drug cartel, when most likely these are fishermen and not drug dealers, drug cartels. But at any rate, I wanted to see the U.S.'s legal standing since 2024. The Supreme Court ruled that a former president has absolute immunity from criminal prosecution for official acts that would fall within his core constitutional powers. You know, this Mac is driving me nuts today. It's like really blowing up. I just touch it and it blows up, so I apologize for that. And those constitutional powers are ordering military operations, attacks, et cetera, et cetera. So he's exempt in the United States. No matter who he's been murdering, he and Pete, exempt in the United States. All right. So international legal standing. Legal obstacles in U.S. courts do not necessarily protect a former president from charges in other countries or the International Criminal Court. Doesn't matter, to tell you the truth. A nation whose citizens were killed could theoretically bring charges, but geopolitically it's very, very difficult for a smaller nation to prosecute a former leader of a global superpower, and that would be Trump. It's very painful to ascribe that power to him. It really is. He so doesn't deserve it. So nothing's going to happen there. Even though the United Nations chief declared U.S. military strikes against drug boats are illegal. And I think it's awful. So I did the runes, even though I read this report from Google about this international waters thing, and it totally supports everything I read. So I asked, will 37 be prosecuted for murder or crimes against humanity? And it says there's a counsel about expecting too much or expecting in the ordinary way. Not likely. The old has come to an end. Call in your scattered energies. Do not dwell on outcomes or the past. Then I got movement in reverse. Like, no, it's blocked. It says the movement is blocked. Okay. Then I got initiation reversed. There's a counsel here about expecting too much or expecting in the ordinary way. The old has come to an end. So I got that twice. Nothing's going to happen here. And then I asked for what? A clarifier. And I got growth in the reverse position again, and it's not going anywhere. So if they want to, they can just keep killing fishermen. Because I kind of think that's what's happening. I don't think a drug, I don't think these were drug cartels. Okay, that's my left ear. My left ear. I didn't ask the runes. I'm giving you my left ear. All right, so now we're coming up on the end because it's Saturday, and Petey needs some attention. As you can see, he's a little restless. Petey, want to turn around and show everybody how beautiful you are? Oh, take a stretch. Okay, now I've got quotes. You can tell I'm excited he's back because he was missing from our show, and people were saying, like, where's Petey? Finally, I realized, oh, I think it's the daylight saving times, because all this week has been completely off. And we started a Mercury retrograde also, which messes up times and communications and plans, so on and so forth. All right. So I got two quotes this morning. One is very simple, and I relate to this. I bet you will too, or some of you. Procrastination is not laziness. It's fear. And I want to add to that because I've done some study on it. It's also trauma. Now the fear, this is Julia Cameron, who wrote a very popular book on creativity called The Artist's Way. But trauma, I guess you could connect that with fear, has a lot to do with procrastination. It puts people in the freeze part of fight, flight, freeze when we have trauma. And then Malcolm X, this reminded me of Mr. 37. He said, if you have no critics, you'll likely have no success. I think that says it all. So no matter how many, he said 37 is a vessel that's empty, and there's big leaks in it, and it can never be filled. Ever. That's how empty he is. And now this good evidence is interesting. I haven't talked a lot about it, but I have really affected by the death of Diane Keaton for a whole bunch of reasons. I actually made a column because I was relating to so many things about her life. Just ended up having some odd things in common. Not the fame, not the money, and not the properties. But she was never married. She said no one ever asked her. And I claim the same thing. No one ever asked me. I've never been married. Never given birth. She never gave birth. Many things, even down to her wearing long sleeves. I found out, she was very self-conscious about her arms. She had some skin cancer, so there was a little scarring, I guess. And so there was just some scarring. I don't need to go into it. A lot of things. But when I read this or found this out a week ago, I went, oh my goodness. a lot of new people here today, so I'm just going to tell you. I wrote a book. It's on Amazon. It's an ebook, and it's kind of short and it's simple, but I have now developed it into a paperback, and I'm gonna produce that paperback on Amazon in 26, and it's really good. I expanded all of it, and I haven't completely landed on the new title. But the first title for the ebook was Good Evidence and Positive Noticing. And then something about manifestation. But I came upon this good evidence as anything that lights us up is considered good evidence. Because evidence is solid. It means it really happened. It's not like an idea, or it's not a visualization. It happened. You know, one day I was standing in line at Starbucks, and my left ear, I cannot always explain my left ear. Young man with glasses ordered a drink, and my left ear said, "Wouldn't it be funny if he bought you a drink?" And he turned around and he said, "What do you want? I'm buying today." And I was like, "You're kidding." I mean, that just came out of me. Then I thanked him. So I ordered a drink. And so I walked up to him. I said, "I don't know if you're going to believe me or not, but this is what happened." He goes, "I actually believe you because it flew into my consciousness to buy you that drink. I didn't even know I was going to do it." So he was blown away. We were friendly, and it was a great moment. That was good evidence. Now, there can be serious good evidence. You know, there could be contributing your time to help somebody. Giving somebody cold a blanket. You know, I delivered food last week, you know, and I'm not like, "Oh, aren't I wonderful?" This is for everybody. You receive a compliment, it makes you feel good, right? It also, and this is very important, it's if you make a contribution to someone, you help somebody, that lights you up. See, that makes you feel good. It makes everybody feel good. That's good evidence. So it's not just me, and what you receive. Well, this is what I found out, where I just loved it, because I have a chapter in the new book about how parenting and families could benefit from the good evidence, the good evidence activity, thought. I'll come up with the word on another day, but so I found out that the two children that Diane Keaton adopted, the female's older than the boy. They're not related, I don't think, the two kids. But when they came home from school, she asked her kids, "Did anything good happen today?" And that's how they started their afternoons when the kids got home from school. Well, in my book, I talk about, why not do this around the dinner table? Just, you've got school-age kids, and you just say, "Hey, Alice, anything good happened today?" And Alice will come up with a story. My sister-in-law was a school teacher in the Chicago school system for 26 years, and they were youngsters. Most of them were like under 8, 9 years old. Well, she took my format, and she said it was wildly successful in class. Kids got very excited about it. So this is what Diane Keaton did with her kids. It made me feel really, you know, even more close to her, because I start out the book with the question, "Did anything good happen to you today?" I mean, that's how simple it is. But that raises energy, you see. And that creates a field of how you look at things. And now, because I created good evidence, and I write about it, and I talk about it, I'm tracking it all day long. I go, "Oh, that was great, good evidence. What just happened?" You know, someone letting you in line, someone, you know, giving you a compliment. There are so many aspects to this. But at any rate, that was my good evidence. I went, "Oh my God, she and I would have loved her. I would have loved her. I did love her." And I think I just want to say I've been slowly, not like every day, looking at movies of Diane Keaton. And when I was young, I saw one of her early movies, Looking for Mr. Goodbar. It was Richard Gere's second movie. So he was brand new and so gorgeous, so sexy. But this is a very difficult movie to watch. And I know why she did it. She did it after The Godfather, where she played the character Kay. That was the first Godfather. It was a very demure, wise, lovely woman that married Al Pacino. And so that could have typecast her, and she went and did Looking for Mr. Goodbar, about this sort of lovely school teacher who has emotional problems and so on and so forth. I don't want to go into it. But anyway, performances. Richard Gere's performance, I don't know why he didn't get nominated. I guess he wasn't known enough. I don't know. He was unbelievably scary. But he also, being an actor, I was an actor, the way he constructed this character was brilliant. She was incredible also. Anyway, I will warn you, it's not a happy film, but I like to look at the whole of the body of work of good actors, and so I'm going to see Something's Gotta Give. That was her favorite film. It was my favorite film of hers also. We agreed on that, and that is a really feel-good movie, Something's Gotta Give, so I can recommend that. And I'm just going to give you a shot of Petey relaxing, and then we're going to say goodbye. There he is. He's got his eyes a little bit open. We're watching you, Pete. This kid knows how to relax. My boy knows how to relax. Okay, I'll see you soon. Have a good weekend. God only knows what next week will bring, but you and I will meet again, like Roy Rogers, and have a good day.